Good morning, Heritage Church, in person and virtual. Oh, wait, that's not a good way to put it. In person and online. No one is virtual. I'm Reverend Bill Gupton, and things are a little different this morning. I can tell most of you have already picked up on that. We, about 3 hours ago, learned of a case of COVID in the choir. So we will not be enjoying the gift of music from our choir this morning. And we have asked people who, if you're comfortable, to please consider wearing a mask today in person for your own health as well as for that of others. I am very aware of the irony of the fact that today's topic is anxiety, that today's service was designed and will still hopefully be an antidote to anxiety for you. And I also know that there are folks in the congregation for whom wearing a mask produces anxiety. So that in itself is okay, and we are not wanting to make anyone unnecessarily anxious today. So it is do what you need to do in terms of masking and what feels safest for you. Let's give a little love to those watching with a wave to the camera. Here's a thing that produces anxiety, produces a whole lot of anxiety in me. I won't count for you how many texts and emails I've had in the last 3 hours since this all started, but I will demonstrate for you the turning off of my phone, and maybe you want to follow suit as well. And now to welcome you, Roger Miller.
Thanks, Bill. Good morning.
Good morning.
To those of you who celebrate, happy Grandparents' Day. Yay. My name's Roger Miller. I'm a member here at Heritage and also a member of the Committee on Ministry. Welcome to our service here at Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church. And whether you're with us here in person or via Zoom, or if you watch this at some future date, we're glad that you're here. We extend a special welcome to any first-time or returning visitors, and we invite you to sign the guest book in the lobby. If you'd like to know more about Heritage or how to get more involved, please reach out to our board greeter today, who is Gary Wilson. Julie Kane, sorry.
Wow, another last-minute switch.
We have to be flexible here. Even the worship assistant has to be flexible. And Julie would be happy and delighted to, probably Gary would too, to speak with you after the meeting. The announcements on the back of the program today offer you information about upcoming activities. I should point out that today is the monthly potluck, which will be outside, not in the Great Hall because of the COVID issue. If you all are welcome to attend, regardless if you brought a dish to share or not. There should be plenty of food to go around. And we do have an announcement now from Meredith Meyer about the Fall Festival.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Meredith Meyer, and I am one of the people supporting John Sandman at our upcoming fall auction. So if you aren't already aware, the auction is coming up on Saturday, September 30th. And when we were thinking about the auction this year, we heard two things from the congregation. The first one was a request to move it to the fall because the timing would be better, and I think we've historically done it then, and we're doing that this year. The second one was to try and begin bringing in some outside money through our fundraisers. So one of the things that we're doing as part of the auction this year is trying to really put more focus on the Fall Festival and the children and families portion of it, to try and bring some new families to the event this year. So for those of you who were here in the sanctuary today, you may have noticed the Fall Fest banner outside. We're starting to do some work really kind of Fall Fest focused out in the community, because we believe that's probably a better hook for people in the community than simply an auction for our church to try and bring them in. So we're really trying to go big this year. We're trying to bring in some inflatables, some better games, and one thing I'm really excited about is that we're going to use our beautiful outdoor trail to create a haunted trail. Libby and some of her drama friends have offered to put that together, and the goal is to kind of create an experience for kids who aren't quite big enough to go to a real haunted forest that's actually terrifying and scary, but it's still spooky and kind of a fun experience. So it's like an age 10 plus haunted trail. So I actually think we could start to create an event that's a repeatable experience that people put on their calendars and come back to. And the dream is that they actually sift in here and start putting bids on our auction items too. So we'll see. Aaron Carpenter and I are working hard on this, but it's going to be modest this year, guys. I don't want to overpromise, but we're trying to lay the groundwork for something that could be something bigger over the years. So 2 things to take away from this. First of all, this has prompted us to change the hours that you're going to see advertised. We need to expand a little bit. So if we're going to make an investment in some of these games and things, and if there's going to be a haunted trail in which it needs to be dark, our hours expand. So we're going to be starting at 5. The auction will open at 5:02 for a preview, and you can start bidding at 6. So feel free to arrive as early as 5. The haunted trail portion will go a bit later. We're still kind of working on that, but everyone here can leave the auction, and that will, I think, hopefully, if we do this right, the flow of young people will come right as you're leaving the auction that night. But we also really need volunteers, and that's actually why I'm up here. So if we're going to have a bigger Fall Fest, we have 1-hour shifts between 5 and 9 on September 30th that if you can sign up for 1 hour to work a kid's game or the inflatable, we really need that. So please reach out to Aaron Carpenter or myself, and we'd love to get you connected. And also, I know John would kill me if I didn't say, please get your auction items in. And if you are willing to solicit businesses, see Becky Matthey or email her. I don't think she's here today, or see me after church, and I'd be happy to help you with that too. All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope to see you on September 30th.
September 30th. That's just 3 weeks from yesterday. Now for our call to worship. We come to this place and this time together, bringing burdens and cares, frustrations and anxiety. In this hour, may we lay those burdens down. May we find here a lifting of the Spirit. May we, in the midst of music, in the sanctuary of silence, and in the comfort of community, find an antidote to our anxiety. Come, let us worship, let us heal, let us renew our faith and our spirits together this morning. Last minute change of plans, number 4 of 71. Let us rise together and be as one in body and or spirit as we sing our opening hymn and repeat our congregational covenant. The opening hymn today is number 360, Here We Have Gathered. By this covenant, we affirm that love is the spirit of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Morning, everybody. My name is Luke Walzewski. So we were sitting at the board retreat a few weeks back, and Lacey asked a question in the group, and she said, does anybody in the congregation know how to make sushi? And I was sitting right next to her, and I said, yeah, I know how to make sushi. She said, great, you want to make sushi with the kids for RE? And I said, okay, I guess I'm in. So right after Aaron and I got married, we spent kind of our honeymoon year in Japan, and we lived there for a year. And you know, one of the gifts we got while we were there was a set of these sushi rolling mats. And so you'd think that I learned how to make sushi, you know, eating a lot of sushi in Japan. Well, no, I didn't learn how to make sushi in Japan. These kind of went into a box with among other gifts that we had. Lived in that box for about 12 years. And then when we moved from Boston to Cincinnati, we were unpacking our things and we said, hey, we have sushi making mats. We should learn how to make sushi. So through the magic of YouTube, I now know how to make sushi. And so we're going to make sushi with the kids today, and then what we create is going to be available at the potluck. So we have 6 or 7 ingredients now that are going in. We have asparagus, carrot, cucumber, avocado, cream cheese, smoked salmon, and imitation crab meat. And so there's going to be some combination of those ingredients in the sushi you see. So when you're looking in and say, what's that in there? It's one of those 7 things, and it's going to be in some combination. So we're going to have a great time, and I hope you all enjoy.
Thank you, Luke. And if you guys can manage to come up with vegan ones that are noted as such, that'd be cool. Don't get comfortable, sit down though, because now it's time to sing the kids and you out to the kitchen. So we're going to sing them on their way with hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace. See you guys soon. Let's sing it through twice. We send our young people out into the Great Hall, out to the kitchen, and out into the world with our love, with prayers that the spirit of love that is also the spirit of this church will surround them and hold them and protect them when we no longer can be with them. And we send them out into that world in peace. Such a simple little song with such a big and important message. Because in case you haven't noticed it, it's a scary world out there. And of course you have noticed it. We all have noticed. We are all painfully aware, literally painfully aware of the reality of the times in which we live. Every day brings more and more to be anxious about. For one thing, we live in a democracy teetering on the edge of and flirting with becoming an autocracy. And perhaps most alarmingly, it seems that many of our neighbors would be just fine with that. There's climate change, a global pandemic that is still affecting our lives to this very day. Attacks on fundamental human rights, attacks on the most vulnerable and marginalized among us. We live in a gun culture with rampant gun violence. This in a society riddled with fear and anger. So we know these are anxious times. This morning in our church community only reinforces this reality. And we know this rampant anxiety is taking a toll on us, on our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health. And that is why this morning I'm not going to preach about any of that, and we're not going to focus on the things that keep us up at night. Today, this week at Heritage Church and here in the room and on Zoom, we're going to take a spiritual spa day, if you will. We're going to take care of ourselves, support one another, bask in song and silence, beauty and community. May this Sunday, in spite of the curveball that has been thrown to us today, be for you an antidote to anxiety, chicken soup for the troubled soul. And we begin with a video from a children's choir based in Australia called Junior Gondwana. Now, this is the first place in today's service that our own choir would have been singing for you today, but in their stead we offer you this little bit of singing joy from some children on the other side of the planet. I hope this will bring a smile to your face and maybe even some clapping to your hands. From carrying on. When things are difficult, we find a way, and there's the spirit inside that you could see in those kids, and that director too, right? Roger has a poem that you might be familiar with that he wants to share with us now.
I love that. I got some great ideas for choralography at the Cincinnati Men's Chorus, although I don't think a lot of us would be able to go down that easily. Might be a little rickety. Desiderata, I'll start again. Desiderata is a prose poem by the American writer Max Ehrmann. He was a Harvard-educated attorney, and he lived in Terre Haute, Indiana for most of his life. He was born in 1872 and wrote Desiderata at the age of 55. It achieved fame after his death in 1945. Latin for things desired, Desiderata was begun in 1921, first published in 1933, and gained widespread popularity through a spoken word recording in 1971. It's a concise and inspiring reminder to strive for high ideals. It reminds us to treat others kindly, to accept who they are, and also to be gentle with ourselves. This is Desiderata. Go placidly among the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It's a real possession, changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection, neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive God to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy.
Contained in that brief passage are a number of antidotes to anxiety that you might consider. Is Aaron? Yeah, there's Aaron. You can't tell, you can't see people with their masks on, right? So Aaron Carpenter is going to explain to us this week's outreach offering, which will also be a little bit different this week.
Good morning. I'm Erin Carpenter, AKA the other Erin that sometimes subs in for to share the sharing our abundance offering along with Aaron Walzewski. I'm speaking today on behalf of our Religious Education Committee, which is trying mightily to make up for Lacey's absence during her maternity leave. Those are not easy shoes to fill, as you know. But I'm coming with an opportunity for all of us to help some of our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness today. As many of you know, our friends at St. John's UU Church are partnering with Found House, formerly Interfaith Hospitality Network, to provide emergency shelter on site there at St. John's to several families in need. And Heritage is one of the kind of partner churches that's stepping up again this year to assist with their efforts at St. John by serving as what's called a support congregation for one of the weeks in the month of October that the families are staying at St. John's. So our week is October 15th. And being a support congregation means that volunteers from Heritage will feed the families nightly. We will entertain and provide fellowship to both the children and adults, and some will even spend the night alongside them at St. John's. As a side note, if you would like to get involved with this very meaningful way to live our values out loud, please see Ray Jane Arujo, or you can find the article with more information and a Sign Up Genius link on the HUC website. But as far as today is concerned, the RE committee is offering our RE kids a service project during RE next week, in which we will assemble care packages for the children who will be guests of St. John's and Found House. We're anticipating about 12 to 15 children of various ages between all the families that will be staying with them. And we are hoping to provide those kiddos with some things that bring comfort and maybe a little bit of normalcy during these uncertain times for them. Things like stuffed animals, or stuffies as the kids call them, coloring books, card games, healthy snacks, maybe even a few not so healthy treats to bring them joy. So our offering this week will fund this service project and help us just pack those little gift bags with as much love and care as we can muster. Our e-kids will be including handwritten notes and little drawn pictures and things as well to show our neighbors they are loved. And so I invite you to, if you're so inclined, to feel free to bring your own little notes of encouragement or things that we can tuck inside those packages. You can bring them next week and give them to me, give them to Ray Jane, and we'll make sure that we include those. For those of you on Zoom, you'll find a link to donate in the chat as always. So the link will point you here to donate to Heritage, and then just be sure and note in the comments field that your donation is earmarked for Sharing Our Abundance or for Found House, and we'll make sure that it gets to the right place. And your gifts today will go directly into the hands of our neighbors, where they will be gratefully received. So thank you for your generosity.
And while the plates are being passed, or I guess I should say maybe once the plates have passed you, I invite you to close your eyes and listen to the music that's being played. It'll be a little bit longer than usual for our offertory, and just sort of settle yourself into this beautiful music.
Unitarian
thank you as always for your generosity to our wider community. That song, which is called Evo by the Cocteau Twins, is my go-to song when I am feeling anxious or need to soothe my spirit. I often put on that song and close my eyes, just like I did just now, and am transported to a place of peace. Music like that, ethereal with words, yes, but words that are often indecipherable, more emotion than actual articulated thoughts. Such music gives me the space and the permission to set aside my own racing thoughts and mental word clutter and be carried away to another place, another realm, a place of calm and tranquility. I suspect many of you have a song that does something like that for you when you're anxious. Or maybe you have certain practices that you engage in when you need to quiet the mental clutter, especially if that clutter is manifesting in anxiety. Maybe, like me, you do yoga or simply shift into a place of mindful breathing. Maybe there's a comfort food that does the trick for you. For me, it used to be chocolate milkshakes. Now it's more likely to be lemon balm tea, made from lemon balm foraged by my wife. But whatever it is, I'm sure that you've each developed your own personal antidotes to anxiety over the years, and right now, I want to invite you to share those with the rest of us. If you're on Zoom, past couple of days and even the past couple of weeks here at Heritage, I particularly want to honor and light a candle for Kevin and Finn, our tech folks, who have gone above and beyond this week and this morning. And now, if you're here in the sanctuary and have a joy or a sorrow to share today, please line up along either wall, come forward and tell us your name and briefly what is in your heart. And if you're on Zoom, you may begin typing your joys or sorrows into the chat. And as always, we light one last candle for those joys or sorrows that remain unspoken this morning in solidarity with each of you and those. So on Thursday, which seems like about a month ago to me, Louise Lawari sent me an email about a song, a video that she had wanted to share with the congregation some Sunday back in June, but it had to be dropped from that service at the last minute. And so I immediately knew that song was a perfect one for today. It is a musical meditation by Peter Mayer, who is better known to us as the singer of Holy Now, one of the most popular songs in all of Unitarian Universalism. This song is titled Breathe In, and in it he will lead us through a meditation in both breath and movement. So as this video plays, I invite you to join me in slowing your breathing, synchronizing it with the words. Simply breathe in when Peter says breathe in, and wait, and then slowly breathe out when he sings breathe out. And if you want to do the physical movements that are happening as well and the hand gestures, you can certainly do those. If you want to move, get up out of your seat and get a little more moving room, that's cool. This morning, all the better to do this practice and follow along with this song in this good company of friends and fellow travelers. So let's begin with this video meditation, which we will follow with a time of silence.
Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Then circling around, down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands, branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out. Then rising like a stalk of grain. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky. Then circling around, down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Let's just continue doing that for a moment together in silence. That exercise, the breathing, the focus, the soft contemplation, the simple act of setting aside just a few minutes to be present and calm, reminds me of the long-standing practice at Heritage we call midweek mindfulness. I don't know how many of y'all are still doing it. We started doing it a long time ago. But each week on Wednesday, about midway between the times that we gather here on Sundays in the sanctuary or on Zoom, we encourage you to stop what you're doing, whatever you are doing, and spend 5 minutes of quiet time breathing and simply being aware of your surroundings, of your body, of your thoughts. And when we practice midweek mindfulness together from 12:30 to 12:35 in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week on Wednesday, there's a power and a feeling of connectedness that sometimes moves me to tears. I don't know if you know it, but our son Patrick often practices it with us. And knowing that he is closing his eyes and being mindful and aware of, among other things, us and his connections in Cincinnati, wherever he is and whatever time zone he's in at that time, is a very powerful and meaningful thing for me. Last Wednesday, I know he was in Budapest. And I believe, though it's hard to keep track, frankly, that this coming Wednesday he'll be in Nepal. But he does this practice with us, and the point is we're connected to one another, connected in the great universal interdependent web of existence that is referenced in our 7th Unitarian Universalist principle. Everyone, everything is connected. We come from the same source. Every atom, every quark, every speck of energy in our bodies is born from the same Big Bang and connected through what we've come to call quantum physics. That's the science of it, but as you know, I prefer the mystery to the science, so I like to talk about things I call non-coincidences, some of which I'll be preaching about next week. I like to refer to the love with a capital L that is the spirit of this church with a capital S. I like to revel in the intangible and the unexplainable. But in the end, whether you lean toward the scientific or the spiritual side of things, there really aren't sides at all. There's really just one big circle, one giant universe-sized interconnected web. And here's the point at which our choir would have been singing a beautiful anthem called We Are One. But they'll do that another Sunday. And what I have chosen instead to share with you by video today is a song that helps me as an antidote to anxiety and also lifts up one of my primary antidotes to anxiety. Someone mentioned it earlier, I believe it was Tracy Joe. It's about dancing. This song is called I Hope You Dance, and it's not by it's by Lee Ann Womack, but it's not sung by Lee Ann Womack in this video. It's sung by Gabby Barrett at last year's Country Music Awards. This song and its message is one that I've shared with you before, and it's my wish for you today.
Sense of wonder, you get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. And may you never take one single breath for granted. And God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. And never closes, I hope one more open. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I chance. When you get the choice, sit out or dance. I hope you go. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's give a round of applause and a huge thank you to Kevin Palmer and Finn Palmer. It was maybe a couple of hours ago now that I threw those videos at them. So I hope you dance. I hope you take a walk, ride a bike, exercise. I hope you plan a staycation for a couple of days unplugged in your home like my wife and I did over Labor Day weekend. I hope when you have a week like the one I've had so far, where on Friday at Heritage Acres we had a burial, and during that burial a phone call came in about another death, and there were already a couple of things going on, so by Wednesday we will have buried 4 people and laid them to rest in the span of 5 or 6 days. That when something like that happens, you have somebody to remind you, like I had somebody to remind me, that when it's overwhelming, just, hey, Bill, it'll be okay. The universe always takes care of us. And it did. There are people out there at Heritage Acres digging graves right now, 2 at the same time. And the universe has taken care and will continue to do so. So I hope you dance, and I hope you know that the universe will take care of you. I hope you hug someone this week. I hope you look at and appreciate the countless beauties of our world. I hope you spend some time doing absolutely nothing at all. And maybe even spend 5 minutes on Wednesday doing that, or 5 more minutes at some other time during the week. Go now in peace, my friends. Go now in peace. And may the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Amen. So our time of shared worship is nearing an end, and our time of food and fellowship together approaches just as the sun begins to shine on those tables that magically appeared and were set up out there. And if you're part of that magic, thank you. In this moment right now, though, let's be present and let's be together mindfully as we sing our closing hymn and speak with heartfelt intent our benediction. If you're willing and able, rise as one for the closing hymn, which is number 355. We lift our hearts in thanks, and since this is one that we're not quite as familiar with, I'm going to ask Sherry to play it through once before we sing. We lift our hearts in thanks. We made it. May the Spirit of life that each of us possesses flow from one to the other. May it stay with us. And bring us peace and harmony. Until we meet again. Amen. Let's go break bread together.